afternoon. This is Tufail. My resident card. It's an ID card for me. So I am conducting a session on risk assessment to my fellow members. Right? As I told you earlier, we will discuss about risk assessment. Before starting the session, I request you to introduce ourselves. So myself, Tufail, safety manager, 16 years experience in occupational health and safety. The same thing I request you, tell your name, your designation and year of experience.
I am plumbing engineer. I have 23 years.
MashaAllah. Yours?
Shakti Srinivasan, project engineer civil, 14 years experience.
My name is Amit Kumar, Astute engineer, 12 years experience.
Myself, Muhammad Murtaza, HSC advisor, having 13 plus years experience in construction and industry.
My name is Shyam Kumar, I am civil draftsman, I have 12 years experience.
Muhammad Al-Majani, civil site engineer. I have 5 years experience.
I am Shivakumar, a civil site engineer. I have 20 years experience.
Even though we are familiar ourselves, just for official purpose, I have recorded your name, your designation and your experience. Now, today we are going to talk about a risk assessment. What is the use of this training? What you will learn after the end of the course. So the final outcome will be, you will be able to explain the importance of risk assessment, why it is necessary, how you can conduct a risk assessment, how you can apply these skills to your real site. Finally, what are the process involved in risk assessment. These 3 outcomes we will come to know at the end of the session. Clear? So, fine. With that I move on. Anybody has idea about risk assessment? What is risk assessment?
So it is using the hazard, identify the hazard, and reduce the hazard,
Okay.
and giving the safe atmosphere on our place.
Okay. That is a process. What is risk assessment? Anyone?
Control the risk.
Okay. Control the risk. That is one of the criteria. Arun?
Before starting the activity, you have to identify the tasks and what are the risks.
Okay. Done. So I will give a definition as per ISO standard 45001. A risk assessment is defined as a systematic process of identifying the hazard and evaluating the risk within a workplace, then implementing reasonable control measures to remove or reduce them. So in these there are some key factors, key elements are there like hazards. These are the technical terms like hazards, risk. We will discuss about that with practical examples so that you will be easy to understand it. Right now, this is the definition for a risk assessment. It's just a systematic process to identify the hazard and evaluate the risk identified. Now, what is the use of conducting this risk assessment? Why we have to conduct? What is the use?
The worker will know.
To know that what are the hazard so that worker can save himself. Okay. What else?
To avoid the distractions.
To avoid a risk, or we can't avoid the risk, but we can avoid the accident.
Accidents.
Okay. What else? Any other? Shiva? Why we need to do risk assessment? Any guess?
Eliminate the hazard and put the control measures.
To eliminate the hazard and put the control measures. First of all, it's a legal requirement. Wherever you work, an employer is legally obliged to do a risk assessment for any kind of task. For example, Shyam is a draftman, right? Even though he is suffering from back pain because of continuous sitting in a chair, right? Your work involves in a display screen equipment workstation, so which involves a risk. You have to know what to do when you have a pain, how to avoid the pain in the first instance, right? Now, still in charge, he has to familiar with the manual handling, how to reduce the risk from manual handling. Understood? Like this. So, as an employer, it's our obligation to ensure that workers, including the staff, should know what are the hazards from their workplaces. That is the reason we have to do a risk assessment. Apart from that, its primary aim is to protect ourselves. Then, it's prevention of accident, as Muhammad said. Everyone deserves to go home safely at the end of the day. That's why we have to do risk assessment. to elevate safety awareness and ownership. Finally, to aware of hazard, risk and control and practicing safe work methodology and to comply with the regulations. With that, now, can you see some site, construction site hazard? What do you mean by hazard? Before going to that, what is hazard? What is hazard?
People can get injuries.
Injury. Okay. That is hazard. Accident? No.
Potential to cause harm.
Potential to cause harm. So, in general, as per ISO standard, it is defined as a hazard is any situation, substance, activity or event that could potentially cause harm such as human injury or ill health or damage to the property. So now I will give you one example. Now, lifting. Lifting is an activity. Lifting is an event. What is the hazard from the lifting which may cause injury to the person or to the environment or to the property during lifting?
Property and injury
How?
also.
Why it will happen? How it will happen?
The loading arrangement is not proper. Weight will
Yeah,
overweight.
overloaded. Because of the crane capacity is 110, but you are lifting 210 of it material. What will happen? As shown in the picture, the crane will topple, right? Likewise, there are several hazards to lifting activity. Example, overloading or material may fail because the equipment is not inspected, right? Second instance, I will take excavation. What are the hazards of excavation? Caving.
Carrying sliding.
No. Sliding. Okay. No.
Vehicle
Vehicle movement.
Yes.
Yeah.
And,
Vehicle movement. Okay.
Clearance.
Trip and fall. Okay.
Falling object.
Falling object.
Clearance.
Clearance. Great.
Blind spot.
Blind spot. I listed a few. See, water seepage, because of which the risk is caving. You say caving. It will not happen until otherwise water seepage is there. See, water seepage is there. Spoils are the excavated material which we keep next to the excavated area. Spoils. The excavated soil we take and we keep on the top of the excavation deep, right? That is spoiled. Vehicle movement. Because of the vehicle movement, what will happen? There is a possibility of excavation collapse. Right? These are the hazard. We are not talking about risk. We are talking about only hazard. What are the potential which may cause harm to the people who are involved in those activities? I list a few another. So the electricity. What are the hazards from electricity? From the picture you can understand. Huh? The hazards. I am not talking about shock. Those are risk. When the risk will happen? When the overhead power lines, when a person comes in contact with the overhead power lines or any material when he is lifting comes in contact with the overhead lines or use of damaged equipment or exposed electrical parts, damaged wiring, these are the hazards by which a worker touches it, he may be exposed. So when the electrical cable is taken away in a wet area, so potential for electrical shock. Right? Those are risks. I am talking about the situation which create hazard to the people. Finally, we discuss about working attire. What could be the hazard?
Chance to fall.
Fall is the major hazard. A person may fall or a material what he is carrying may fall from a height. These are the two things only happens when you work at height. Right or not?
Nice.
Third thing is electrical shock. Maybe power line is there or that will be happen. So this is about construction site hazard. I listed a few. It is not a complete list, even though I have listed a few for your understanding. Now we move on to the next topic called risk. What do you understand by the term risk?
The problems we are going to face.
Problem we are going to face.
Risk means human. Human life.
Hazard is potential to harm you. What is risk?
Chances to probability.
Chances. Chances means how many chances are there that a damaged wire can come in contact with you? and how voltage it is supplied, how much voltage it carries. Chances versus severity. Both multiplication gives you risk.
Yes.
Suppose this mobile is hazard.
Yes.
What is the hazard from this
The
mobile?
battery can
Explode.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Physical hazard what would be? It is 100 gram, 70 gram.
falling.
From height it fall, what will happen?
5.5 kilo.
If it fall from here, I will have small pain.
Yes.
If it fall from 10 meters,
Yeah.
what will happen? I will have a
Half kilo.
potato on my head, right? Right or not? So impact, severity. What are the chances it may fall? If I kept inside a jeans packet, no worries. But what if I have a packet with a open at this corner? Potential for falling higher risk. So that is termed as risk. So as per occupational health and safety ISO standard, it is defined as combination of likelihood of occurrence of a work-related hazardous event or exposure and the severity of injury, chances of falling and how impact it will be to you. Severity, impactness. If it is fall from 1 meter, no worries. If it is fall from 10 meters or 100 meters, impact is highest. That is termed as risk. Now, what are the degree it will influence? As I said to you, it depends how much the worker is exposed, how far he is working from the location. If the hazard is close to him, it will be light injury. If it is far away, it will have a good impact. How the worker is exposed, how severe are the effect under the condition of exposure. Simple example, if you know how to swim and you are at the seashore, only hazard is you will see the shark. When you are on the shore, suppose you know swimming and you were swimming and suddenly you saw a shark, that chances is very high that you will die. When you are in shore, there is no chance that the shark will bite you. Hazard is shark. Hazard is tide. The way, if you don't know swimming, what will happen? The tides will take you. If you know swimming, tide risk is reduced, but shark risk is still there. This is hazard, that is risk. Clear? Now, go back to the previous example. We talk about lifting, right? The hazard we saw, overloaded. What would happen if it is overloaded? It will topple. It will fall on a person. It will fall on the same area. Likewise, electricity, if it is exposed cable, if it touches it, it will get a shock. Right or not? So this is how we relate hazard, risk, the severity. Clear? Now, any doubt in this? I hope clear, right? Okay. Now, once we know the hazard and risk, how can we control? This is a hierarchy of control measures: elimination, reduction or substitution, isolation, administrative, engineering control, finally PPE. That's why we consider PPE. If you don't have any control measure, at least wear the PPE. That we emphasize outside. Right or not? Now, in the lifting instance, suppose how can we control? We know that we have to take a load of 2 tons, but we have a crane of 1 ton. What we can do?
Separate the load.
If possible, divide the load. 1 ton, make it 4 pieces, 500, 500, 500, 500, and lift it easily. Thereby, elimination is not required, but substitution. We replace the hazard. Right or not? If that is not possible, we can go for engineering control, like reduce the number of people inside a lifting area. That's why we barricade the lifting area, so that more number of people will not be exposed to the falling. What are the hazard? When we lift, the load will fall. Right or not? If 100 people are there, but I reduce it to only 2 people, 2 riggers should be there in that. So out of 100, 98 people have been saved. Isolate the people. If that is possible, done. If not, what we can do? We can put the signages. Lifting is going on. Now for the tower crane at the side, we have not put any barricade. What we have done? We have told the riggers to whistle, because we can't stop the activity. We can't barricade the area. Nothing is possible. Everybody is wearing helmet, jacket, coverall, but it will not protect them if a load falls. What we have done? we told the riggers to whistle, so that what will happen? Everybody who hears the sound of a whistle, he will stay back and he will look for the suspended dog. Right? This is how we control the risk in a workplace. Clear? Now we know what is risk assessment definition, hazard, risk, and hierarchy of control. With all this information, now as a legal requirement, we have to record it. How to record it? There is a set of process. In the first stage, when you tell, we identify the risk, we assess the risk, we control the risk, hierarchy of control, then we have to record and review those control. Today I recorded, maybe 1 year down the line or 2 months down the line, Kharif season will start. What will happen? Full of water will be there. Again we have to review the risk assessment. Baba, have you considered about water stagnant? If not, what we do? Mosquito will be breeding, sleeping hazard will be there. For excavation, water seepage we didn't consider because it's a dry land, Baba. But after Kharif or during Kharif, what will happen? Water will seep from the inside. So we have to go for a shoring, battering, right? Those instances we have to take care of. That is what we have mentioned here in the process. 4-step process. Officially it is recorded as 3. Risk identification, risk evaluation, and risk recording. These 3 steps are considered for the risk assessment process. Once you know, is it not possible that you keep everything in your mind? Is it possible? To simplify it, we have to record it. Now in the project, we are recording based on this format, right? How we are evaluating the risk? We have given severity, probability. We discussed about this, right? 0 to 5 scale in this project we are using. Here, very low, low, medium, high, very high chances. If it is red, it is very risky. Our intention for risk assessment is to reduce. That's why we carry out the risk assessment. If it is yellow, okay, but additional precaution is required. If it is green, no worries, only supervisor is enough. That's why when you pour concrete, why TWC stands there, temporary works coordinator, why the engineer stands there? Because the quantity is more, potential for risk is very high. That's why we deploy competent and additional supervision to the site, so that we can reduce the accident. This is a template where we record the risk assessment for each and every item. For example, during concrete we use chemicals, right? While handling chemicals, what are the hazards? What are the risks? What will happen to the person? While handling chemicals, what are the hazards? Cement dust will come. It will affect inhalation, personal injury. So how to control? Supervision shall implement the following: good ventilation, follow shock method, correct type of PPE, control measures. Right? For each step, we identify what are the hazard, risk from that, and we evaluate against the matrix. Then we write the control measures. Clear? Now, once we have done the risk assessment, what we do? It's written paper, we got approval, everything. What we do? Next step is we have to inform to our workers. Who does the risk assessment? The staff people. But ownership, it will not come until it is cascaded to the worker. At last, who is doing the work outside? Foreman, worker. They should be communicated. How we are going to communicate? First, through method statement, we communicate to the engineer. From the method statement, the engineer cascade that information to the foreman, right? That foreman cascade those information to the worker through start session, daily toolbox start, right? In addition to that, we conduct training. Safety department used to conduct training. In that, we cascade those information like banksman special training we conduct, electrical safety special training we conduct, PPE, how to use the PPE we conduct, housekeeping, campaigns we run. This is all for the project. Whole work scope is awarded to us. Once we receive contract manager, construction manager, PM, sit together and display the work scope. Disciplines in plumbing, mechanical separate, civil separate. They will conduct
and they submit to the construction manager and safety manager for review. Once it is done, it is transferred to permit and start card, foreman, team leader, workers. This is how it is communicated. Now what about stakeholders, subcontractors also we have to communicate. That is one of our responsibility. Clear? Any doubt in this? Final review. When we have to review? Just 2 minutes ago I discussed about when we have to review. Whenever the environment changes, whenever the key person changes, for example, project director has resigned and gone, then again we have to review. Once in a year we have to review. Fixed terms. Once after any incident happen, like near miss or accident, we have to review the risk assessment. Again we have to record it and we have to submit for approval. This is how the whole PDCA cycle happens. Clear? Review, risk assessment. So finally, conclusion guys. So definition, just risk assessment, systematic process to identify the hazard, evaluate the risk and record it. Hazard, the potential to cause harm to the people or to the environment or to the property. Risk, severity versus chances, probability and severity. Simple. Why we have to regard? What are the steps? We have discussed. That's all about risk assessment. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. I know it's a short term, 15 minutes. Any doubt here? Any question? No? Fine. See, in your desk, I have given you 2 papers. One is trainer notes I have given you for your reference, so that after the training classes, if you have any doubts, you can go through it. If you have doubt, you can contact me. Second thing, feedback form. Give genuine feedback form so that I can evaluate on my own what I have done wrong, how can I improve myself. Your feedback is most valuable, so I request you to fill it very truthfully. Take your time.
It's very,
My name.
very
See it. Thank you guys. Thank you, Jishman.